Good afternoon, Flay. This is Mike with Thrive, and we're going to go over our June 2021 report. So diving right in, we first start off with our top 5 keywords. Again, our top 5 keywords are non-branded and branded terms put together, and we come up with a combined score of an overall ranking indicator. So looking at this month, June, we almost had an all-time, definitely increase over May, and ending at 195. So we outpaced last year and 2018 as well. 2019 did a little bit better at 208, but I believe we also had some duplicate keywords in there. I remember that summer that we spent some time cleaning that up in our top 5 keyword tracking. So again, almost a all-time record, but definitely very, very good, ending strong in June. Let's take a look at what those keywords are and some of the volume and some of the change fluctuations that occurred in the last 30 days. Okay, so I've loaded our keyword cloud report here. As you can see, in a prior month, the keywords are all the way to the left, indicated by the search engine result type, seen here in the middle, the corresponding position that the keyword and page render at, and the change occurred over the last 30 days. Competition rating is measured based on the ad saturation of the query, the volume in search per month, and then our last is the cost per click. And from an SEO standpoint, we just look at that in terms of what the competition is willing to pay for, and also look at overall degrees of relevancy. Then we look at 2 phases of our keywords. So the first one is our non-branded, our branded keywords. So that's WinSystem and or a product and or a geolocation. We lump all those keywords together just so that it doesn't detract from our non-branded scoring. No surprise there that all branded terms have not moved at all, as you can see displayed here. And we also are rendering in the knowledge panel. We have our site link extensions, and so on and so forth that display quite a few pages here that give the user some direct navigation after they type a query. So that's really good. Google deems that as high quality. That's why they give you the extra real estate in the display, under the fold. So that has not changed again. And then our non-branded, so this would not contain anything with WinSystems. So it's going to be product-based and or product-based with a geolocation. Some solid couple pickups here with Epic single board computer and industrial ARM SBC. So these are kind of new. I'm looking forward to some diversification here in terms of the types of results, but it's good to see that we're displaying in the overall organic results section here for that keyword. Some notable mentions on the movement. Look at SBC dual Ethernet moving up 1 position to number 2. SBC embedded computer moving 2 spots to number 2. So getting closer and closer to the top of the page there. A little bit of downward movement here with open frame, just 1 notch down to number 4, but still at the top of the page. And then our commercial computers moving up 3 positions to number 3, so getting closer again to the top. And then some other movement was industrial embedded computer moving up 2 positions to number 4. And then a low power single board computer, very long tailed keyword, but again, as you can see, a large amount of the competition. So the space is very competitive there. So moving up 4 positions to number 5 to the middle of the page. We also anticipate some additional movement there to move up closer, I would say, to 3, if not 2nd position. So that's great. I think that's a really relevant keyword, and we'll keep an eye on that in terms of conversions and how the users interact with that content. Next key metric is total traffic. Total traffic is measured in sessions, and a session is a measure of when a user goes to more than 1 page. We use sessions again primarily due to that it automatically filters out a lot of bot traffic, if any, because bots typically go to one page and then bounce. That would eliminate that by default. And we also like to look at as much real user data, human user data as possible. So that's why we look at sessions over page views. 7481 was the total. That outpaced all prior years for the month of June. So that looks very, very good. Again, it's not an all-time record in terms of users, but again, a all-time for this month. So let's take a little deeper dive into the overall traffic. We can look at some of the specific sources and then look at some of the conversion data thereafter. All right, I've loaded our SEO progress report here in this screen. Keep in mind, play the active link within the content. This goes directly to your shared project folder. And we have all of our historical reports archived there. So please let me know if you have any trouble finding that. Our range, looking at this report, we're looking year over year. This will give us the most apple-to-apple evaluation in terms of the month. As you can see, all traffic up 35%, so that was good to see. Our specific organic traffic was up 15.35%, 3901. Or organic reach topped the chart, as you can see, direct, other being Facebook, and then paid search there underneath. Looking at our top landing pages, again, homepage toggles with the fog and edge computing. That's typically what we see. But again, a lot of the product pages have taken up the other remaining spots there. As you can see, the products and word computer, and then product computer on module. So it's great that we're focusing on the on module keyword and query. And as you can see, we have some, it's one of our top performing pages now. So it's great to see. Going into our conversions, as you can see, conversions were definitely off. I looked through and audited the flow in order to submit information. I really didn't see anything that stood out to me that would cause a potential problem in terms of clicking on a mobile platform, in terms of filling out all of the points and all of the areas of the contact page and so on. So we noticed some better traffic coming in. It is engaged in terms of the how it interacts, but it's just not converting as higher as when we had lower volume, but we seem to have had more engagement. So I'm really looking as to why, and could that be informational driven? I do see a lot of informational searching, if you will. They do go to several pages and then kind of bounce out and then come back in a day or two later, and then but they definitely don't engage with, in terms of putting their information and submitting a query that they're actually interested in and having having something built or having something priced out. So I'm looking at that aspect of it because as we produce more traffic and it's pretty niche and relevant, it should have the propensity to convert. So again, 43 definitely down altogether at 33.85%. Conversion rate is 0.57, so that's pretty low. As you can see, in the prior year we had 1.18%. So even though we had higher numbers of sessions organic from the organic channel, and specifically when we look at the contact points, you see that the form 37 completions, 5 click to call headers. So definitely converted a lot better last year. So there's some underlying conditions there, but it wouldn't all be COVID related, I would think, but would be driving that. So again, something I'm going to keep in, really kind of looking at the behavior and seeing why, and what themes convert better. So again, really honing in on where those conversion points occur and pushing that. So again, I love more traffic, but I want to see it kind of engaged with the content. And that definitely, you can see that here, that even though we have an engagement with the content, it's just not converting into that contact form. So we definitely want to see more of that for sure. And then just looking at our qualified leads year over year, as you can see, 43, we did outpace 2018 at 41. But again, compared to 2019 and 2020, we converted much better at 61 and 65 respectively. So the goal of this month is to get our conversions on the upswing, like we saw in the beginning of January. As you can see those numbers up there. So we definitely want to get more converting. We want more traffic and we want it to convert. So sometimes that they have a diverging curve, if you will, when you analyze that, because you have quantity and quality, right? They're intersecting. So can't sacrifice the quality, but we don't want to throw out the aggregate traffic. So we want to gain on all fronts. So it's difficult to do that, and we're putting a lot of stock in those users in terms of making some assumptions that they will convert. So really what I'd like to do is back the clock up and look really at one of our best months, which was October, in the years 2020, 2019, 2018. I like to look at March of that same time span, 2020, 2021, and then really just hone in on what is converting, what converted historically during those times. And as we get further and further back in history, that would kind of erode the confidence in terms of the data. So I'm really going to be looking at 2020, 2019, 2021, and establishing some correlations there. We got 3 years worth of data, so that should be good statistically. And I definitely could probably come up with some correlations as to, what historically performs better in times of plentiful search volume, and when does it occur when there's a shortage of search volume. So that can definitely help me kind of steer, steer our, kind of correct our aim, if you will, and realign our focuses on what's converting versus the volume of traffic. That concludes our report for this monthly. I really appreciate your attendance. Again, I really appreciate you as a client as well, as does Thrive. And I look forward to meeting with you and going over this in a little greater detail. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks, Flay.